you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel.
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
Yeah, so one of the local reporters came up to me. He was like asking me about the process and things. And he asked like which team I thought was going to be the best fit and where I wanted to play. And I told him, I was like, I really want to go to Buffalo. And he was like, nobody wants to go to Buffalo. And I was like, I just feel it right now. You know, me and the O-line coach really hit it off. We had multiple meetings between the combine and pro day. It was just great interaction with him. And I could just see this program is headed in the right direction.
One Cody Ford on his draft pick, heading to Buffalo. With that being said, we bring in the man filling in for for Brandon Drum, one RJ Young. RJ always on call with the video up, ready to do a video. We welcome in RJ as we do typically on a Tuesday and Thursday right here on the Sports Mix at 1025. You can check out his YouTube channel and in the host of Fight Me on Sunday mornings right here on 97.1 The Sports Animal. RJ, what's up, buddy?
Not much, brother. You know, just enjoying life. Of course, being on call is part of being on the job, right? I mean, so that means that I was glued to my television for most of the NFL draft. I dropped Friday night early to go see some in-game because, well, that's what's most important in life. But I was surprised as anybody that, one, Cody Ford didn't get drafted first round, and second, he ended up in Buffalo. Now, you know, Jerry's going to have some feelings about that because that dude is Buffalo to his heart. But how much would you pay to watch Ed Oliver and Cody Ford go at Inoki drills?
Ooh.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That would be a lot of fun. Cody Ford, I've always liked him, very nasty. Of course, all of the offensive. Here's what's crazy, RJ. We had Dusty on a little bit earlier. 4 offensive linemen taken in the first 4 rounds of the draft. Only seventh time in history that 4 linemen from the same college were taken in a draft. Granted, we don't have 18 rounds like we used to have back 20, 30 years ago. And so when you watch this, the most insane part about this, as good as those guys were, the one guy who didn't get drafted is going to be the bona fide first round guy. And so it's a credit. Bill, we were talking about it, just how much of a infomercial this was for the OU offense, not just quarterback Kyler Murray, offensive line, receivers.
Sure.
I mean, everybody. Rodney Anderson gets drafted late and good value, obviously, after his injury. But, RJ, I mean, there is no better place in the country. There is none. There is no better place in the country to go play football in college on the offensive side of the ball than Norman, Oklahoma, period.
Not in 2018 there wasn't. The guys at Georgia might fight you a little bit because Sam Pittman has done a job out there. And, of course, Alabama just continues to turn out those guys. But if you want to get developed, if you want to go, like Cody Ford is a prime example of what you're talking about. Cody Ford was a guy that all of us were questioning, like, can that guy do the job? That dude's never played tackle before in his life. We hadn't seen enough of him to say that he could do it. And you were coming to be a part of a line that, frankly, should have won the Joe Moore Award in 2017. Are you going to step it up or what? And that dude ends up being the first guy taken off the board of all of them. Now, the question I have going forward is, can Bill do something with some of these JUCO kids? Because we understand that if he gets them right away, like you mentioned Creed Humphrey, without mentioning Creed Humphrey, he's going to be the best of all of them, and we know what he can do at center. But David Swaby, can that dude be a guy? Finley Felix, can that dude be a guy? David Swaby, can that dude be a guy? You know Darrell Simpson and Bray Walker are probably going to figure into what you're doing. Adrian Ely as well, and you're going to see what you got at that other tackle position. Maybe a Marquise Hayes, we'll see. But that's the question I really have is, if you keep getting all these JUCO guys, 1, can you develop them? And 2, it's not exactly, we thought somebody would have snatched up that grad transfer offer at offensive line. It took a while to get RJ Proctor. And you're just kind of figuring, what is it that guys don't see going on here? Because us looking at it, we're going, yo, there's only been like 4 instances of 4 linemen going in the NFL draft the same time since it was the 7 rounds in 94. And it's only happened twice before it happened this weekend in this decade. So, I mean, I end up arguing with a lot of OU fans about this a lot. It's like, what is it about offensive linemen just not wanting to come to OU? And I could tell you because Cody Ford's going to get a $3.4 million signing bonus as a 38th overall draft pick.
Yeah, only a couple of years after having been carried off the field in the Ohio State game. And you wondered if he would ever even come back and play. And he came back and had a great run. And like you said, I mean, Kyler won the weekend, obviously. But I'll tell you what, a fairly close second was Lincoln Riley for what Austin said in terms of just enhancing the brand with the guys that went off the board. And Lincoln was on a ton of different platforms and had a great 30-second moment with Nate Burleson on NFL Network that got viewed 1 million times on Twitter. And I just thought you can't have a better weekend unless you got a brand new championship ring on your finger. You can't have a better weekend than what Lincoln had in regard to marketing the program.
Defensively, you could, because this is also the first draft since 1995 where there was no defensive player selected from Oklahoma. And Curtis Bolton signed an undrafted free agent contract with Green Bay. Congrats to him. Amani Bledsoe to the Tennessee Titans. But that's the thing, right? As great as this weekend was, and it's historic for a lot of reasons, the defense is still going to be the number one priority and the thing that we're going to continue to drill on, because you essentially made the college football playoff back-to-back years without a defense for all intents and purposes. You had guys that you like, but they didn't know what they were doing, and that's what Alex Grinch has been brought in to do. That needs to change next year, because, yeah, great. We all know that if you come there to play quarterback, you're going to be pretty good. You come there to play wideout. You come there to play running back. You come there to play offensive line. Okay, what about the other 11 guys on the defensive side of the football? But one note, I don't know if you guys got to this yet, but this is awesome. There were more kids drafted from Tulsa public schools this year than from the entire University of Texas roster. That's awesome. McLean, Booker T, stand up, Josh Jacobs, Jordan Brailford, Justice Hill, and then Darwin Thompson out there at Jinx, man. I was on cloud nine with that stat.
It is, real quick, because, I mean, obviously you cover the recruiting side of things. If you would have told me 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, but if you would have told me that Oklahoma, and maybe it's just by dumb luck that the OSSA did this, They set up their spring practices for high schools after all the spring state championships. This year they won't start until May 13th. What this does, and I don't think people realize this, I talk to a lot of college coaches across the country. I do business with a ton of them. And they all come to Oklahoma because nobody else in the country is going through spring ball those particular weeks of May 13th and the week after. And it has enhanced. And now, RJ, we've had guys. You know, we've had your Robert Meachams. We've had David Oku. We've had guys that get drafted on a national level. But now, Oklahoma, and you just said it, you know, not just you know, getting a guy or two to go to a big-time program. Those guys are materializing and working out and now going on to the NFL. But the awareness of athletes in Oklahoma and in Tulsa specifically, every big-time program in the country is going to be in Tulsa in next month. Everyone in the country, no question.
Well, and I think the other thing is
in 5 years.
I'm actually going to give a nod, because we're not used to doing this, but I'm going to give a nod to the OSSAA, because lining up with the evaluation period and recruiting, I don't know why more people just don't do that, because, hey, you got other programs that are going through their own spring ball at the next level. That's just the way it is. Now, places like Arizona State, they finished in February, and I still think that's kind of weird, but it works for them. But why would you want to line your spring ball schedule up with college footballs when you need those coaches to come out and see you? And they're done now. They're done before the NFL draft. Start the week after, or May 13th, right, like we do here, so you give those coaches time to come down to see you and devote their undivided attention, because what are they doing? They're helping their early enrollees get set up for the next semester, and they're helping their freshmen move in, and they got that 8-hour window over the summer. They're really just breaking down film and trying to get ready for next season, but they also use the evaluation period. It's on the NCAA calendar. So I actually do want to give Oklahoma high school football quite a bit of a nod for this, and I think also getting a good evaluation, and guys not just coming up there to see you or watch your huddle highlights, that's right, paramount. And getting coaches that can have at-length conversations with you about their kiddos is paramount, because everybody knows what you could do, but they don't know what kind of work ethic you have unless they could spend some time with your coaches, and you could do that in May. You can't do that when you're going through your own spring ball in March and April.
And this is the general response I get from college coaches, especially in the middle of May. Texas is generally done with their spring football stuff. All of the big states are generally done. The response is, we got nothing else to do. I think so. Our head coach will say, go to Oklahoma. They got some guys, and that just translates into more offers from mid-major programs. You know, finding a kid that was on the cusp, and it's a great thing, and it allows these kids to be showcased, and it's done really well. We always knew we had talent. We always knew we had good coaching in and around the Tulsa area, and there would be a guy here and there that would be on a national stage. We get it. But now it's just the overall volume of the kids that are being offered. You know, when Alabama and Clemson and A&M and all these coaches come to see one Andrew Rame at BA, they're also going to go check out a handful of other kids. Why not?
So to that end, though, that means that the University of Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and the University of Tulsa better stay on their P's and Q's all year long, because I think that has had a big deal. Like, you lost Josh Proctor when you should have got Josh Proctor. You know, you lost his little brother, Dax Hill, when you should have got Dax Hill. There's lots of kids that end up leaving the state for one reason or another, and sometimes it's like, hey, we that dude just doesn't talent enough to play at said university. A lot of cases it's just, hey, somebody else came in here and knew they had to recruit harder because they're out of state, and they put in the effort. So I think this is all to the good for high school football in Oklahoma. But if you're the University of Oklahoma or Oklahoma State or University of Tulsa, you know that people are coming in your backyard in May, so you better be there too.
No question. RJ Young, you can hear him pretty much every day, a video a day. That's his guarantee on his YouTube channel. You can check him out on Twitter, obviously. The show on Sundays is fantastic. It's brought to you by the American Putter Company. RJ and Fight Me with Corey Hilliard on Sunday mornings. RJ, we appreciate the time, buddy. Have a good day.
Austin, Bill, I appreciate you guys.